compact SUVs that have been around as long as Honda's CR-V. Launched in 1997, it's been a stalwart ever since and has been the obvious buy for many a customer. However, the marketplace is now full of rivals, so we thought we'd give it a test and see what it's like today. Well, it's available with a choice of 3 engines, 1 diesel, a 2-litre i-DTEC power unit, and 2 variants of the same 1.6-litre diesel i-DTEC engine with either 120 PS or 160 PS. As standard, the petrol comes with a 6-speed manual gearbox, but is available with a 5-speed auto. The same can be true with 2-wheeled and 4-wheel drive. The lesser powered diesel is only available in the entry-level trim with a manual gearbox and front-wheel drive, whilst the more powerful version comes with the option of either a 6-speed manual, 9-speed automatic, whilst 4-wheel drive standard with that engine. There are 6 trims available and prices start from £23,700. We're testing the range-topping trim with the most powerful engine, 4-wheel drive and an automatic gearbox, and that costs over £37,000. This 4-cylinder diesel variant produces 158 brake horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. Now, depending on which trim you get, that will determine how fast it is. This particular model gets from 0 to 62 miles an hour in 10.4 seconds. The same is true with economy and emissions. This particular model on an official combined cycle returns 53.3 miles to the gallon and emits 139 grams per kilometre of CO2. However, during testing, we've averaged around 38 miles to the gallon. Performance never feels particularly swift in the most powerful CR-V. It feels like a bit of an effort actually to get a move on, so what happens is you sort of sit back and relax more than trying to push on. The engine's a little rattly on startup, it's quite vocal and boomy under harder acceleration. The gearbox feels similarly relaxed. Sink your foot and it takes a few moments for it to register what you want and to start to change gear. So you just sort of cruise along in this. The steering wheel mounted paddles help out a bit, but they're not rapid in changing. However, leave it in auto mode and the gearbox is sublime. You just do not notice it's there. Feels like a single gear as it changes gears so sweetly. And that relaxed feel then continues into the ride. It's very softly sprung, so you can just waft along the road in relative comfort. I can't remember the last time I was in such a vehicle and it just obliterated the noise and feel of cat's eyes in the centre of the road. You do feel a little bit of body movement over a series of bumps as it just becomes a little bit wallowy and pitchy, but it's not too bad and you forgive it for the comfy ride it's given. This has got the larger alloys on, so you do feel some of the smaller, harsher bumps come through, but it's never uncomfortable. The 4-wheel drive system provides plenty of grip in all conditions. That helps it handle pretty decently. Despite its soft setup for ride, its body lean is well controlled, which means you can attack corners with some gusto and it's not going to fall off the road. The steering is slightly on the heavier side and it's quite numb. There's no feel there, but generally it goes where you want it to. If you are going a little bit hotter into a corner, you have to make some steering adjustment mid-corner. It is, however, consistent and settled around the straight ahead, meaning you don't need those minor adjustments and inputs all the time, which helps on longer journeys. As you might expect, this range-topping version has got plenty of kit on it, so you get lane departure warning, city brake assistance, crash avoidance systems. Whilst helping off-road, it gets hill descent. You certainly climb up into the CR-V. It feels very high when you get in, and that gives you a brilliant driving position, so you're very high up. There's excellent visibility all around. However, the over-the-shoulder view is restricted slightly by that thick rear pillar. However, this model is fitted with front and rear parking sensors and a reversing camera. Inside, the CR-V is probably best described as neat, tidy and functional. It's clutter-free of buttons. You get this 7-inch infotainment touchscreen, which again is pretty basic, easy to use, but quite slow. The graphics really do feel outdated now. Elsewhere you get the chrome effects trim, soft touch plastics higher up, some padding for your knees on the side, and these leather seats. Being the top of the range, this model's full of kit, so you get the keyless entry and go, the dual zone climate control, DAB radio and Bluetooth. Whilst there are heated and electrically operated seats and a 2-stage memory function in the door. And those electric seats are pretty useful for helping you get comfortable. The only thing I have found is every time I get back in the car, it's higher than the preset position I've set, so I have to reset it. In the lowest setting, I've got decent headroom and it feels very spacious. The steering wheel has a lever down low to release it and adjust for good reach and tilt. So most should be able to get comfortable in here, especially with that feeling of space. The steering wheel is well sized, but does feel a little bit thin. There's adaptive cruise control and stereo and phone controls on it, whilst the dials through are really neat and tidy. Use the icon button and the dials change from a white display to a green display, whilst the car works to be more efficient. Practicality wise, there are 2 storage compartments in the door, a high level tray which would be great for coins and the like. There's a deeper bin lower down that will take a bottle of water, and then between the seats are these 3 compartments that can be adjusted to hold cups or more items. However, it's a little bit untidy. Between the seats, the adjustable armrest opens up to a deep tray, whilst there's numerous USB sockets, HDMI and power sockets contained within, whilst the glove box is decently sized. The sunroof is fixed in place but has a blind that closes from front and rear to meet in the middle. Let's have a look in the back. Like you get in the front, you feel as though you climb up into the CR-V. The doors provide a decent access point, and once you're in, these seats are really comfortable. There's also loads of room with a flat floor across, which helps 3 get in comfortably. There's loads of foot room, plenty of leg and knee room, whilst headroom's pretty decent at 5'9". There's a good sized door bin, a couple of air vents to keep you cool in the back, and a fold down armrest with 2 cup holders. Now this has got a really clever folding seat system which can be operated by 2 levers in the boot, which I'll show you in a mo. Otherwise there's a toggle down the side of each seat. Pull that, the bench automatically folds forward, followed by the backrest as the headrests fold in. There's also a 2-stage position to the backrest, so you can have it sitting upright or more laid back. Let's have a look in the boot. This model gets a powered tailgate that can be opened from the boot or off the key fob. There's a retractable load cover which opens to a pretty big space, 589 litres of space to be precise, and if you lower those seats then that can be raised up to 1669 depending on whether you've got a space saving tyre or not. Now to lower those seats there's a grab handle on either side. In here it's pretty robust, it feels very dog proof, so everything's pretty hard and feels it could take a battering and then you could wash it down at the end of the day. There's a couple of bag hooks either side and a power socket with just the 1 netting on the left hand side. This model's fitted with the optional load liner, and under the floor there's no particular storage, but there is a spare tyre. The boot opening is wide and the lip is reasonably low, however there is a bit of a step to the boot floor. The boot floor's also not square because it seems to be trying to provide as much space as it can, so you get the sort of in and out meandering effect.